I just feel like you count down, not up. I don't know.
That'll do.
1,
Whatever.
2, 3 feels like we're doing a magic trick.
We are.
How many listeners can we have disappear? Hello and welcome to Good for a Change. This is a podcast where we aim to combat the awful everyday news you hear with stories that will make you smile. I'm Jarrod, and sorry about that. I felt creepy doing it. I'm Jarrod. Sitting with me, but not with me, is Hollie.
Hello, Hollie.
And also sitting with me, but not with me, but with Hollie, but not with me, is Sean.
Hello.
How are we, gang?
Doing all right, thank you.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Pretty chilled.
Back for the 4th week.
I've just noticed, and honestly, it's cheered me up no end. The way that you're sat and the camera is sat, it looks like you are recording into our microphone. I'm just taking a picture. And it's really funny.
It's like we're here in the same room again.
I mean, exactly right.
That's a good
Look, I'm glad that my posture could bring you so much joy.
It really has.
I don't think it's my posture. I think it's the fact that my camera is just not very well centered. You sent me a picture of it. Great. Look, we haven't even started the podcast and we're already at a visual medium.
We'll put it on the Instagram.
It does look like I'm recording into your microphone.
It's funny.
Excellent. Well, that'll be up for everybody to enjoy. Anyway, let's get the show on the road, shall we? I've got a story I want to tell.
Yay!
I want to tell you about a stuffed horse in Norfolk, England that has become a local celebrity after it was thrown out by a man doing his spring cleaning. Left on the side of the road for hard rubbish collection, some local children decided to take him to the park and play, and then left him there. Now, this isn't a small toy horse. This isn't like, just a little stuffed doll. This thing, is quite big. It's probably a couple of feet tall, stands on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's substantial. A lady found him in the park and posted online asking if anyone had lost a toy horse. And everyone had started claiming that while they weren't his, they wanted him. And they started making all these horse puns and stuff like that. And he was awarded to the lady who named him Derek Trotter. Which, from my research, I believe is a reference to the TV shows Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, it's Only Fools and Horses. That's really funny. That's a good joke.
That lady left Derek at someone else's door. Who then took him in and took some photos and then moved him to another door and then another door and then another door. And Derek Trotter travels around this small village going to everybody's homes.
So funny.
And everyone in town is on board. Now, what they've done as well is they put a mask on him so that he isn't transmitting any virus.
Of course, you've got to do that.
Yeah.
Smart.
I hope they're Detolling him as he goes as well.
I hope so. There's a town Facebook group for him called Derek Trotter, the Globe-Trotting Pony. At one point, a mysterious citizen added in another smaller horse that they named Rodney. So now Derek Trotter has his own little pal named Rodney, and they travel around. They've done some pretty fun things. They attend local events when allowed to. Obviously, with lockdown issues, everyone in town is being wary of that. But they've gone rock climbing.
Whoa.
They went to a birthday party.
Nice.
They even attended a local brownies meeting in which they were the only boys allowed.
That's true.
They were given their own brownie costumes.
Aww.
But look, there's some great photos that we'll put on the socials. He's got himself a little. I think someone gave him a little Hawaiian shirt.
Brilliant.
He's a happy man. Our Derek Trotter. I'm not sure the guy who threw him out knows what's happened. I never know if he meant to throw him out. He's probably just put him out there and gone, "Oh yeah, I'll grab him in a second," and then he's just galloped away.
He's on the run.
He's on the run.
He's on the trots.
Yeah, he's on the run. Horse is on the run.
Oh dear.
We recently went to McDonald's when we were able to and got some Happy Meals, and whilst we were expecting Scooby-Doo related toys in the Happy Meal, we unfortunately got Spirit, the DreamWorks horse, in the Happy Meal box, and we were a bit disappointed at the time because both me, Hollie, and my sister, we all got the same horse. It's not like we even got a different one, so we got 3 of these same horses.
It does gallop well, to be fair.
And they were just sort of sitting in the house, and I think Mum was leaving them around so that one of us would take them and put them away somewhere. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to hide the horses. So I took these 3 horses and I moved them somewhere else to start with. And then they sort of got moved again to the place where they should be picked up and moved. And I thought, that's it. I'm gonna hide the horses now. So then they split up. There used to be a group of 3 horses, and now I split them up. And every few days, I move the horses around to different places. So the other day, one of them was on a shelf in the bathroom. One of them's been in a shelf in the study. They'll hide on in between things. This morning, someone else found the horse, and it was on Hollie and my coffee gear that we were, like our coffee grinder and things that was sitting in the coffee box. So these little horses are currently running and hiding around the house, and I can't tell if people are enjoying it or not. My favourite one was the bathroom because I was the only person tall enough to be able to reach the shelf where it was on. So everyone would be having a shower, and then they'd be like, is that a tiny horse up on that shelf up there? So, yeah. And someone, I think it was Mum, kept going like, who's moving the horses? And I was like, Darryl Braithwaite. It's Darryl Braithwaite with the horses.
Look, it's un-Australian to say, but I don't like that song.
Whoa.
Don't like it.
Anyway, it's okay.
They'll give me your citizenship. You know that.
That's fine. I'm pretty sure when you had got your visa, Hollie, didn't you have to write the lyrics to Horses by Darryl Braithwaite?
Yeah, you have to sing the song in full. And with gusto, that is.
But that's the way it's going to be, little darling.
You get to pick that. It's either that or Working Class Man.
Yeah, it's that or Working Class Man. I chose the horses.
I mean, Working Class Man is the clear winner of those. But anyway, I've actually done something a little bit like this whole Derek thing. This is going back now about 10 years ago when I worked for Woolworths. We had a group of 4, maybe 5 of us who used to move this bunny rabbit. Now, this big, large, stuffed bunny rabbit, his name was Slagathor. I named him. And it started because we used to move him around to each other's like registers. And then one day I woke up and I went outside to go to uni, and sitting on my car was Slagathor. And so it became a game where we would, and keep in mind, we didn't all live in the same suburb. We would be like, one person lived 30 minutes away who was in this, and we would drive there in the dead of night and, like, throw Slagathor on their front door and then run off. And you wouldn't know it's there until you wake up in the morning. And we did this for probably a good 18 months, until one day, apparently someone put Slagathor on my car while I was at work.
Yeah.
At, like, 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday night. And someone stole Slagathor.
Oh my gosh.
Drama.
And we don't know where he went. I have my theories that one of the people who was involved stole him and was going to reveal him at some point, but it has been 10 years. Slagathor hasn't rocked up. And if he does now, it'll be an amazing
joke.
Punchline.
Yeah.
I love a prank like this.
We did a similar thing when we worked at the balloon warehouse that we worked at. We built a set of shelves out of boxes, and it was before our rocket scientist friend worked there, and so it was a rubbish set of shelves. It didn't work. And so our manager, Martin, I'm going to preface this with, once a week we would have a competition of Martin of the Week, and you'd get to nominate your favourite Martin to be Martin of the Week. So our manager, Martin...
Never really won Martin of the Week?
Never really won Martin of the Week. He wanted us to get rid of this set of shelves because it was rubbish. And we were like, have I got a prank for you? So we were like, yeah, Martin, we'll get rid of that set of boxes. No worries.
At first we moved it to his desk, which he didn't go to very often. And then he discovered it and was quite upset that the box still existed.
It got to a point where he was like, okay, this needs to go in the bin. This is getting silly. And so we were like, no worries, Martin. We will put that in the bin for you. No worries. And so we put it into our car, obviously, and drove it home. And then we attached eyes and arms to it, and then we gave it a badge that said Box Martin. And then on Easter, what we did was we hung it from the mezzanine level of the warehouse that we were working in, and we called it Box Martin, and Box Martin rose again.
After Easter, which is the natural time for someone to rise again and return to everyone's lives. So on the lines of making things, which then get names, I guess. This is a really tenuous link. My story this week is about a scarecrow, although it's sort of like Scarecrow 2.0, because this company they've devised like a really like fancy name for it, but it's called like scare tech. And basically what's happened is on some offshore wind farms, they were having some issues with, and I'm going to bring it back and you're possibly going to hate me for it, bird poo.
Oh,
They-
Sean!
Can't believe we've done it again.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. So they were having issues with bird poo, and it was a very expensive issue trying to remove this bird poo, and bird poo is not healthy for humans when it accumulates too much, so they needed to stop seagulls pooing on these wind farms off the ocean. And so they decided, well, why don't we build a scarecrow? You know, scarecrows work in fields. Let's make a scarecrow. Of course, out in the ocean, it's, you know, wild weather and extreme, so they had to make like quite a sturdy scarecrow. And they've come up with scare tech. Now, scare tech is...
It sounds like Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah, it does have that kind of ring to it. You know what? It's sort of, you know, like the child figure in Monsters Incorporated that's like in the bed and like gets up and like,
Yeah.
is like scared and stuff. In essence, this is sort of what scare tech is. It's this figure that is dressed sort of like one of the workers in high-vis gear, has a hand up waving, has a hard hat on, all that kind of stuff. When it sees a seagull, because it has like some kind of reading thing, infrared, you know, way of seeing birds, when they land on the thing, it goes crazy. It starts making high-pitched bird noises, and if that doesn't scare them off, then it emits these like lights, strobe lights, at the birds to scare the birds off. It is like the most intense scarecrow you have ever seen.
I mean, it sounds like a couple of seagulls are going to rock up and Daphne just have a rave.
They might just have a rave. So they've been trialing it for about a year now on this wind farm, and it's reduced guano, that was the term that the article used,
Ooh.
which is bird poo fancy word.
I didn't like that.
It's reduced that by 60%, which is really significant because normally it takes a lot to clean it off. So it looks like they're probably going to roll out scare tech across more of these things, and you're just going to have these raving, scary scarecrows going crazy on these.
Do you remember when we were worried that robots were going to take over the world? You know, that was a fear that the human race has. That's the best we can do, is
And flashing lights.
and that's it.
Yeah. Now it's just creating. All they're using that technology for is bird raves, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Did you see the robot that Japan has made? The like giant, like 5-story robot
No.
What?
that took its first steps a couple of weeks ago.
Well, that sounds like a bad thing for 2020.
Let's not have that. One of my favourite parts, though, was that one of the first things they made it do was give the bird. They had it raise its arm up and just give everyone the finger, which I thought was very funny. I'm like, that just seems like someone went, yeah, let's do it. Let's leave what they say.
What are they doing with that? What is the purpose of that?
I don't know exactly. Part of me wonders if they did it just to see if they could. It looks a little Power Rangers-y.
You know what you could do with that? Really good option for that. Window cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
Window cleaning.
I saw a guy on YouTube the other day. I don't know how it came across my thing, but I saw this guy on YouTube, and he makes giant robots, and he made them as like, he was inspired by like Power Rangers, Japanese like fighting robots kind of thing, and he thought, how cool would it be to have like an actual mech suit robot kind of thing? So he built one, and it's like got like massive chainsaws on it, all this kind of stuff. And then someone else in Japan had also made a giant one of these fighting robots, sort of like Robot Wars, but on a large scale. And this guy was like, let's have a battle with them.
Whoa!
And sure enough, they like brought this robot over from Japan, or he went to Japan or something, and they like fought them out, and they like crowdfunded this event.
Wow.
You could like buy tickets to watch like
Sounds
these
like Big
actual
Hero
robots
6.
fighting.
Like Robot Wars. Do you remember Robot Wars?
Oh,
Yeah.
Robot Wars was a great show.
Yeah, I loved Robot Wars.
The only problem with these big robots, it was cool because they were big and they were like picking up oil barrels and like chucking oil barrels at each other and stuff, but because they're so large, nothing happened very fast. Like, at least with Robot Wars, they were small robots. They could, like, if you flip
The
something,
flipper?
yeah, it would happen very fast. Whereas
Incredible.
these robots had sort of the same things on them, but because they're giant, it's like and it was all very slow.
Yeah.
So it lost a little bit of like the dynamic robot fighting that you would hope for.
Yeah. That's a shame.
So you think that's going to be an issue during the robot apocalypse that's obviously coming now? That, like, we're all going to just... Do you think we're going to be able to defeat the robots because they're going to be really slow to do everything?
I'll tell you how we'll defeat the robots. We'll defeat the robots because the best thing that they can make them do is go, wee-woo, and throw some lights out. I think we're going to be all right.
I think we'll be okay.
It might be effective against seagulls, but I think as people...
I'll be like, I think that's a robot. That's it. I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah. They're going to eventually just start using them for raves.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
My worry is how long before the seagulls get used to it. Because we sometimes sit at McDonald's, and I like to play a game where I pretend I'm on like a warship, and the seagulls climb up on the front of the car, and then I arm the missiles, and then I fire the missiles, and the missiles are the windscreen wipers, and they go womp womp, and the seagulls get freaked out by it, and they fly off for a little bit. Then it's like they get used to it,
Yeah.
and then they're back on the car again, and they're not scared anymore.
Yeah.
So how long before, you're right, Jarrod, they're having a rave party, and they're not afraid of the raving, lighty robots?
Yeah.
If anything, you've overstimulated them, and so they're ready for anything.
Exactly right. So when they've got whistles in their mouth and glow sticks in their hands, it's going to be an issue.
We're absolutely doomed. Well, save us from the doom. Someone tell us some good news.
I've got some good news.
Huzzah!
On the lines of nothing that we've been speaking about. In Stansted Abbots in the UK, Douglas Smith has grown a 20-foot sunflower.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the second biggest sunflower I've ever heard of.
That's like half the size of a giant robot. See? Linked it. There you go.
Good link. So his 4-year-old son on the 28th of March said, Dad, I want you to grow a sunflower as tall as the house. And so he's like, okay. And then he did.
Whoa.
And it's just this one sunflower, and it's literally 20 foot tall.
That's amazing.
Like, I know sunflowers have quite decent structural integrity because they do literally just grow straight up, and it's a very thin stem.
Yeah.
Obviously way stronger than I thought they were going to be.
He has built... I mean, I don't think it's necessarily touching it. I'm not a sunflower professional, unfortunately. But he has built, like, a wooden frame of sorts. Imagine, like, a scaffolding, but with none of the bits to stand on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Is what he's built. And I think that's just in case, like, the wind comes or something. It'll just catch it.
Yeah.
It starts to tip or something, yeah.
He's apparently grown very big vegetables before, so when his son said to him, grow one taller than the house, he's like, easy. I got you.
I'm on it.
I got you.
Wow.
How tall is he? Is he planning on keeping it going as tall as he can?
I guess so. And they're having a heat wave in the UK at the moment, so...
Might be beneficial.
Honestly, he's probably got another at least 25 foot out of that thing.
Whew. I wonder if you climb it, if there's like a castle at the top with a giant.
Probably. Not the year for that.
You know what's crazy about, like, I think about flowers in the UK and houses, is that, like, not necessarily very big gardens kind of thing. But I think about your parents' house, Hollie. And Hollie's parents' house had a little set of stairs out the front, and there was a little crack in the stairs. And at some point, a little seed got into that crack, which obviously had access to the ground amongst the concrete, and from it grew a sprout. And they managed to, like, grow it up the side of, like, the house onto, like, an awning, and it was a passion fruit plant. And it went from being the tiniest little sprig of a, like, you'd probably just think it was a weed, into this incredible passion fruit plant that had all the crazy massive flowers on it, and then grew the fruit, and we could eat the fruit off it, and it, like, literally everywhere was concrete. You couldn't even barely tell where this thing would have found.
You wouldn't be able to dig it out and plant it properly. Like, it lives its life in the concrete.
And yet it thrived. It absolutely thrived.
If I try and plant, I don't know, something easy, dies in a second. I could give a flower all the love it wanted, and it would die. But that passion flower...
Incredible.
It is near impossible to kill a cactus, and it is near impossible to kill a succulent.
Yep.
And I have done both in the last 12 months.
Well done.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I've done the impossible.
Well
yeah,
done.
no, I'm not good at all with plants.
Yeah.
God help me when I have kids.
Well, I would recommend not sticking their feet in mud and just patting them in. That's not how they grow.
I water them.
But if you put a little wooden trestle around them, they will grow to be about 20 foot tall.
I have heard that. But only if there's a heat wave.
Oh dear. I think that's really sweet though. I think that's really nice that one, the sunflower cooperated, because if I tried to plant a sunflower, it would not cooperate.
Definitely not.
I got in trouble once at school because we were planting sunflowers outside, and they were like, go plant some more sunflowers. And I was like, okay. And then they told us off for planting more sunflowers.
Wow, this feels like a traumatic childhood memory coming back to you, Holly.
Wow,
Can we assist you in this
You
in the
okay?
healing process
I
here?
just remembered that.
All right, let's have a think. Let's talk, Holly. What's the initial feeling that comes up when we think about it?
It's honestly just like
Sean, you can go.
hate for nature, if anything.
Oh, that's not true. You love flowers.
And how is it that you're wanting to manifest your hatred?
I want to grow 4,000 20-foot tall sunflowers.
That would be impressive.
Yeah.
That would be impressive. There's a big sunflower field, and every year it gets more and more popular because of Instagram and like tagging and things. And they've had to like ban people from getting in there, and people will like jump the fence and all sorts of things to take pictures amongst these sunflowers because it's like it looks really cool on the Instagram, but they're ruining it by like trotting through the field and that kind of thing. So
Because they are strong plants, but they, if you whack it with your bag,
yeah, it's not gonna have a good time.
no.
Same with children.
Same with children. You're ready. You're fine, Jarrod.
Fine, I'm fine. Just don't whack them with my bag, and put wooden scaffolding around them.
Wooden scaffolding
You'll
around.
be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be growing.
That's what all the parenting books say.
That's what they all say. Oh dear.
Well, if you've got any tips for raising children non-traditional ways, or just some good news in general, you could email us at goodforachangepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear those good news stories. Or alternatively, we now have a accompanying group on our Facebook page where you can get in there and you can share stories with a community across the world. We're hoping to grow it like 20-foot sunflowers and it'll be huge one day.
Lovely. Well, Holly, can you please tell me what is good in your life?
I absolutely can, Jarrod. Let me tell you. So we are big fans of the old Bake Off. We've watched British Bake Off, obviously. We've watched Australian Bake Off, and now we are watching the Canadian Bake Off.
Excellent.
And let me tell you what, the people of Canada cannot bake. Bless them for trying, but and that's honestly 100% of the fun of the show. There's one man who they were making like pancake, like a brownie kind of thing, I think is what he was trying to make. And what he did was he put all of the ingredients straight into the pan, and then just sort of mushed it around with his hands.
Yeah.
That's I don't think that's how you bake.
No.
It's not how you bake.
I mean, the sad part is, Holly, that guy was British.
And he was British. Well, he obviously didn't get onto British Bake Off, so they sent him to Canada.
Mary Berry would have been very upset with the use of hands.
Yeah. The best thing about Canadian Bake Off, though, is that whenever we watch Bake Off, we have a baked treat to accompany the Bake Off. And Tamlin and I have taken on the role of Canadian Bake Off bakers. This week is Canada Week, and I will be baking for Canada Week. Tamlin, unfortunately, pulled the short straw. Patisserie Week is coming up.
That's unfortunate. What are you going to make for Canada Week?
A blueberry, it's called like a blueberry bumble or something.
I feel like it needs to have maple in it.
Yeah, I said that to Sean. There's a lot of like maple. So there was beaver tails. I think you have to fry them first of all, and that's too much. That's too much culinary.
It's also very hard to find beavers in Australia.
Yeah, that's difficult. And also a lot of it had like candied bacon on it.
Okay, yeah.
And like I'm not against candied bacon. I think like I can see the merit of candied bacon, but I do look forward to cake break every week.
We should preface that by saying that the third advertisement break in a television show is what we in the house call cake break.
Okay.
So I didn't want to destroy cake break with
Candied bacon?
candied bacon.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not opposed.
So I'm doing the blueberry thing.
Lovely.
I think it's sort of like a cobbler. It's sort of like a crumble. But it's a very traditional Canadian bake, so that's what we're having.
Delicious.
Lovely. I don't know much about Canadian Bake Off. I just know that it's hosted by Daniel Levy, who went on, I think, after this, or maybe during this, went on to make Schitt's Creek,
Yeah.
which is one of the great comedies of our time. I'm a big fan. So, look, I'll watch it just for Dan Levy.
He's very good. He's very funny. Do you know what's good about him? He doesn't know anything about baking, much like every other person on the show.
But does he pretend to, or does he just
No,
okay,
that's
good.
the best bit.
Good.
It makes me laugh because you know the setup of a Bake Off episode. They say, this is what we're baking.
Yep.
They let the bakers go off and then the judges sit and they eat whatever it is in a nice conservatory. Sometimes that one, which is the example of a really good bake, looks awful.
And normally that's the one that's like perfection.
And it's like, you can see that and it's got like bumpy sides and the icing's not good. And they're like, this is what it should look like. And you're like,
I don't think it is what it should look like at all.
Mary Berry would be in there like, look at this wobbly side.
Look at this soggy bottom.
It's so good. I love it. I think it's really funny. And the faces that Sean's dad is a chef, a patisserie chef. And so watching him watch the show is comedy in itself.
I can imagine. Because your dad wouldn't hold back. He would quite gladly heckle them, I believe.
Yes.
There's a lot of faces, to be honest. There's a lot of like, ooh. Especially the hand thing, and then they'll like just decorate so poorly. They'll bake like an okay cake and then they'll just like destroy it with fondant. I love it.
I mean, I probably wouldn't do much better if I was on the show.
And that's what I watch Bake Off for, is for when the cakes fall over, and you've got like an 80% more chance of a cake fail on Canadian Bake Off.
Oh, for Bread Week though, Hollie did make us a delightful cinnamon knot bread thing, and it was spectacular. So whilst the Canadian bakers may bake badly, I look forward to the cakes and things that are baked for Cake Break because, they have been some winners so far.
Well, I mean, if that's how talented you are, Holly, why aren't you flying over to Canada to do Canadian Bake Off?
You're absolutely right. I will ring Canada today.
Please do. Please do. I think the number is 1300 Canada.
Eh?
Sean?
Yeah?
What's good in your life?
Oh, well, recently we discovered, I think it was through Facebook, that a bookshop was doing these, like, mystery packs. And we were like, what's this mystery pack? And they were like, we've got a lot of stock to clear before we get in, like, next year's stock. So we're running out some boxes, and they're mystery boxes, and you pay $100, and you're going to get 40 books. And we were like, ooh. And we were like, it's probably a bit dodgy. You're probably going to get, like, a whole lot of dodgy books. You know, even if it breaks the cost down per book, it's probably going to be a bit dodgy. And then we had a look on the website, and we saw some of their other mystery packs that were a little less mystery. You still paid $100, but you only got about 20 books, but you could see exactly which books you were getting. And so we had a look at one, and it was an autobiography box, or a biography box, and we quite like reading biographies, and there was a lot of diversity, and there was some that we weren't interested in, but there was definitely enough that we went, oh yeah, I think if we spent $100 on that, it'd be a worthwhile purchase. So we got that, and then we went upstairs because my family are avid readers, and said, guys, there's this box available online, $100, 40 books, don't know what they are, but is it worth the risk? And they went, we are locked down at the moment, we could do some reading, yeah, let's do it. So we all invested a little bit more money, and we got the mystery box. So all these books arrive one day, and we end up with 60 something new books in our house, and it was such great fun because we like opened this box and we're like delving through finding all these different books, and there was a real variety of stuff. There were cookbooks, there was like a James Bond novel, there were biographies, there were
just things that you wouldn't necessarily think to pick up and read.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm equally interested in I wouldn't necessarily read them, but because I've got them now, that looks quite interesting.
Learn something new.
Yeah, got a Frank Sinatra biography, which I'm quite looking forward to reading.
Lovely.
Got a book about like mysterious romances and things happening at a like Downton Abbey style house, but it's all true.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's a real good mix of books, and I thought, why not? You know, we spend a lot of money on books anyway, and this is like $2.50 a book or something, and we've ended up with a whole lot of interesting stuff to read to keep us occupied.
Was there any real clunkers in there where you're like, oh, that's never going to get read?
We got 2 of the Matt Lucas biography.
We also got an Ariana Grande biography, but like, you know how there's like there are good biographies, and then there's those biographies.
And then there's the unauthorized one.
Yeah, it's that. It's exactly that.
We got an Ariana Grande and we got a Beyonce, and it's like when you read the credits of the person that wrote it, it's like this person works for like
Hello,
NW,
magazine.
yeah, magazine, and you're like,
Yeah.
how accurate is this gonna be?
Yeah.
But you know, maybe it'll be interesting.
Well, 3, we've got it. We'll give it a read, and if
Yeah.
not, we'll donate it to Dodgy Paper, and they can turn it into paper. Jarrod,
Yes, Holly.
what is good in your life?
I made a purchase, and I have no need for my purchase. I don't know why I bought my purchase, but I bought it. Cost me $75 on Amazon. I bought a green screen.
Ooh.
And it's not a small green screen. It's taller than me. It's
Yep.
massive, to the point where when I opened it, I probably should have... Because it's one that like folds up into like a little circle. And you
Yeah.
zip
Oh,
it up,
nice.
and then you unfold
Yeah.
it, and it goes poof, like that.
Oh, wow.
And I probably
Like those
should have
things
been
you
a
used to put on the car window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to. I should have been a little more careful though yesterday when I opened it when it arrived, because I didn't realize how quickly it was gonna poof up and knocked a whole lot of stuff off my bed. Knocked something off my thing. Nearly knocked my computer over. It is massive. This thing. It's just one of those things where I was like, I don't need this, but it's $75 on Amazon Prime, and I'll get it in 2 days, and so now I have a green screen.
Brilliant.
I'm sure we'll come up with something dumb to do with it at some point between 3 of us.
Oh,
We could do
yeah.
a visual version of the podcast and then put the things that we talk about all the time that are visual behind us.
Oh, well, there's an idea.
We're not doing that, guys. That's too much effort. That's...
It's just, we're not going to do that at all. That's just, I'm already exhausted thinking about it.
That's mayhem.
It's mayhem. But, yeah, so I have a green screen that I don't need.
Wow.
We also have a green screen. Unfortunately, not in this country. We got it when we were in the UK, and we were converting our second bedroom into a
Recording
studio. And it seemed like a great idea at the time. And then, much like now, don't know what to film on it.
It's just one of those things, I know recently you guys were trying to take some photos for a show that you're going to be doing. And it was just chaos watching you two try to figure out how to do this without a green screen.
Yeah.
Well, now I've got my giant one, so you can probably actually go to space with it in order to use it, because it reaches up to the atmosphere.
Incredible.
Because it's massive. I've got some dumb ideas for what I'm going to do with it.
That's the best thing, is nonsense. Like, you could do
That's
something
it.
good with it, or you could pretend that you're walking through Memphis and then play that Cher song.
I don't know if the Cher song is the version people like.
That's the version I like.
I've already promised a couple of people that I'll take some dumb photos in front of it,
Yeah.
and then just let them have free reign, and just, where can they Photoshop me into?
Yeah.
And little dumb things like that. So I'm sure I'll have my fun with it.
Do you know what you could do? Oh my gosh, this is a great idea. So, you could dress up as Glenn Campbell, and then you could put the music video for Rhinestone Cowboy, which I'm obsessed with, behind you, and then you could be Glenn Campbell in the music video of Rhinestone Cowboy.
Okay. I'm probably not going to do that,
But you could.
but I could. I just, for some reason, it's only literally popped in my head now. I might just film myself and just walking around the background, if you can call me Al.
Yeah, that's good.
Just, do that, and just like, because there's a doorway, just like peeking around a doorway, like, what the hell are those two doing? And just like constantly walking past with things. That's a
Brilliant.
dumb idea that I've just thought of.
I
I'm
love
sure I've
that.
got some 80s gear somewhere.
Open your eyes, find yourself aware of your surroundings.
I don't know if maybe we are relaxing to people. That'd be interesting to know, actually.
I mean, I'm stressed just doing this show.
Do you know where would be a good place to find out kind of how the podcast makes people feel? Is if they were to leave us a review.
That would be very handy. You could leave us a review and tell us.
Is this relaxing, or is this just mayhem in your ears?
But no matter what, we hope that it's. Why am I doing this? You've brainwashed me, guys.
Yeah,
now
Sean.
I'm here talking about the fact that.
What were you going to say, Sean?
I was going to say, if you are having a really good time, you should maybe leave us a 5-star review.
No, well, it's not.
How many
It's
stars?
not a maybe.
It's not really. It's not optional.
It's not optional.
Just
Ooh.
you could leave us a 5-star review, or you could just talk about us and say nice things.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we won't harp on about it because God knows last week we spent about 45 minutes on it. I'm just saying, look, you all know the policy by now. We're not going to harp on about it. 5 stars only. No, another 4 stars. Give that to someone else. We're not interested. 5 stars. Thank you very much, Sean, for bringing it up. I appreciate that, mate.
That's actually really good of you. Thank you for bringing that up.
I can't believe
Sean, you can put the policy document down now. It's okay. We've done it.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can find us on Instagram at Good for a Change Podcast and TikTok now as well. We're trying that out, seeing how it goes. It's got some good results so far. You can also...
I can do the renegade dance. I can't. I don't know what the renegade...
There's not really Hollie dancing videos
That's really...
on it.
And I'm 31 years old, and I think to myself, what's the TikTok? How do I use the TikTok? Isn't that a clock? Like that.
Well, now that you got a green screen, Jarrod, you know, you might go viral on it. Who knows?
That's it.
Oh my gosh, we can... Oh, I'll call you later, Jarrod. We'll do some work.
All right, we'll come up with something.
So yeah, find us on the social media. Join us on Facebook at the Lazy Creations Group, and
Tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends. Exactly. Spread the good news with your friends. We'd love to have them listen in as well.
But if your friends are John Krasinski, don't share it with your friends.
Not again.
No. Look, I had to go on the run last week because of all the Krasinski talk, so we won't bring it up again. So thank you very much, Hollie.
Thanks, Jarrod.
Thank you very much, Sean.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Jarrod. You're welcome.
Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.